Keeping the big picture in mind is one of the most important things parents can do, and also one of the hardest. Dr. T. Barry Brazelton. As I pulled my minivan into the cul-de-sac, tears surged up from the deepest part of me, just begging a chance to escape. I forced them back, turned off the car, and got out with a sigh. Opening the back door, I lifted out the baby's car seat and gazed down at Jonah, who had screamed through most of the playgroup and even more during the drive home, only to fall asleep as we entered our own neighborhood. Typical. Next, I walked around to unbuckle 3-year-old Josiah and lift him from his toddler seat. The happy sparkle in his eyes made me smile, but at the same time, a single tear snuck down and slid down my cheek. I brushed it away quickly, but not quickly enough. Josiah's smile turned to concern as he asked, "What's wrong, Mommy?" "Oh, nothing." I forced a laugh and said something about the sun in my eyes, which must have satisfied him because he turned and skipped toward the house. I paused a moment before following him and repeated his question out loud. "What is wrong, Mommy?" Then I continued the conversation in my head. "I'm failing at this whole mom thing. That's what's wrong. Failing. I've got the one job I've always dreamed of, and I can't get the first thing right." As I entered the house and got the boys settled, the list of my shortcomings ran through my mind again. A list that seemed to grow each week at playgroup. On this day, I'd listened to one mom humble bragging about the baby food she'd made and how it wasn't nearly as good as the last batch. I'd never made homemade baby food. What was wrong with me? Then a boy, just a few months older than Josiah, plopped down in his mom's lap with a book and started reading to her. A 3-year-old, reading! It hadn't even occurred to me to try teaching Josiah when he was so young. When 2 boys started a tug-of-war over a toy, I watched their moms' opposite reactions. One got right in the middle, refereeing the boys and trying to turn the scuffle into a teachable moment, while the other rolled her eyes and mumbled something about how boys need to work things out for themselves. Meanwhile, I sat wondering which of them was right, suddenly becoming aware of yet one more thing I felt unprepared to deal with. My head spun with shoulds and coulds and opinions and pressure. So much pressure. What really matters? I asked my husband hours later as we lay in bed and stared at the ceiling fan spinning above us on another humid Hawaiian night. Every mom I meet, every article I read, they're all telling me something different I should be doing. I couldn't do it all. If only someone could narrow it all down and tell me what was worth focusing on and what wasn't. I wanted desperately to know what matters most when it comes to raising boys. More than 15 years have passed since that scene, yet it remains clearly stamped on my memory. That disastrous playdate happened soon after we moved to Hawaii for my husband's medical residency training, which meant he was gone most of the time. One night, we pulled up to the hospital emergency room to bring him dinner, and one of the boys blurted out, "Oh, yay, we're at Daddy's house." I felt lonely and tired and more than a little overwhelmed. I wanted so badly to be a great mom, but it was a lot harder than I'd imagined it would be. As difficult as I found those years, they gifted me with a humble awareness that I wasn't the naturally awesome mom I had always told myself I would be, and the realization that it would take much more than some idealistic notions to fulfill my dream of raising amazing kids. Not long after the minivan meltdown, I found out I was pregnant with our 3rd son, Luke. I knew I must find a new way to approach my days as a boy mom if I wanted to parent with no regrets. I committed to becoming a purposeful, prayerful mom, bravely choosing not to listen to every message that bombarded me, but to instead focus on the few things that mattered most. I determined to set my aim on the future men I was raising and how I might equip them to get there. I also learned to take care of myself, parenting with more dignity and less emotion. As years went by, I gained confidence and found myself enjoying who my boys were becoming and liking who I was becoming. Seeing the current of culture moving quickly in a direction I did not want my kids to go, I determined to be purposeful in the choices we made about our time and family life. We simplified our schedules. Our days became less hectic and way more fun. My boys were growing up to be thoughtful, kind, and hardworking. We actually enjoyed one another. I knew I had turned a big corner when my husband and I began to consider having one more baby. Maybe we'll get a girl this time. 9 short months later, son number 4 was born.